Hey yo, so this main event, Roman Dolidze against Anthony Hernandez, and it was really interesting because they were both on similar records, both coming off wins, you know what I mean, on nice little streaks, and hey, we know they could both finish fights, you know. So how would they be going up against each other? Now, there was a lot of people talking about, like, Anthony Hernandez, and kind of all he has is really the gas tank, right? Skill-wise, you know, it's not really about skill when it comes with Hernandez. It's more, he'll outlast you and then he'll find a way to beat you, right? And Dolidze is the one, you know, great wrestling, good striking, just all of this stuff. And I've disagreed with that. You know? Because yes, Hernandez, great gas tank, will outlast you. But there's a calculation to what he does, you know? But I think when you first see him in the ring, Dolidze was so much bigger, right? So much bigger than Hernandez. It was crazy. I don't think sometimes you don't realize because you see these people and they look big on their own. You know what I mean? And if they're up against someone kind of similar to, you know, you think, oh, okay, boom, boom. And then you see them against each other and you're like, oh shit, Dolidze is a lot bigger. But so was Rodolfo Vieira even. He was a lot bigger than Hernandez and Hernandez fucked him up. You know what I mean? So it's just like, okay. And I think what the big tell in this fight was, in that first round, right, Hernandez is chopping the leg, you know, that he's doing that well. I don't know what it was. Dolidze was not doing anything about that leg kick. Doing nothing. And that was just, oh man, it didn't look nice. Did not look nice one little bit. You know what I mean? But it's like chop, 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 motherfucker. Right? But in the opening seconds of that fight, Dolidze landed a big shot. And nothing. And I think you see an expression on Dolidze's face like, I think he thought he's probably going to knock out Hernandez. He thought he's probably going to knock him out. If not, he's just going to have his way on the ground. Right now, he talked about using leg locks to stand up and the fact that he could catch him in one and all of this jazz, right? So we did see that when Hernandez took him down, first of all, and he used a leg lock to get back up. So we saw those two things, but the biggest one was, well, there's two, right? The big shot had no effect, didn't even stumble Hernandez, right? So that big shot had no effect, and Hernandez pretty easily escaped the leg lock. So those were two big things like, I thought I was going to have my way in both of those departments, and it does not look like I will, right? Doesn't look like I will. But let me try. Let me try a few more times and we'll see. You know? So that was a thing. But Hernandez is coming forward, and the thing being, right, people saying Hernandez doesn't have any, you know, there's not a real fight IQ, it's just, you know, endurance here. He was coming forward, putting the pressure on Dolidze, you know. Dolidze wasn't able to control the pace of this fight. So we had seen Dolidze go 5 rounds, right, with Vettori. That wasn't at a breakneck pace. That wasn't frantic. That was very calculated and sedate in a way, you know? This was not. This was no way sedate, no way controlled. Hernandez just put that pressure on Dolidze. And the big thing was, when he got in close, when he clinched up, right, he is landing to the body. And on the break, a lot of the times, Hernandez was landing a nasty elbow, right? They'd be breaking and then pow, elbow. And it just caught Dolidze unaware so many times, right? So many times he wasn't expecting the elbow. And I kind of think after the first fight, after the second, you gotta go, okay, he's caught me twice now. I've got to think that on exit of a clinch, there may be an elbow coming, right? But it continuously caught Dolidze. And, oh man, it was just brutal. Right? He would take down Dolidze and then just stand back up, right? Never put the hooks in, just was pressuring, having his weight on Dolidze, making Dolidze have to stand back up and just drain that tank. And you just saw that tank get drained. Oh, he was getting drained in there. I was expecting Ashton Kutcher to jump up at one point because it was a bully beatdown. That motherfucker was a bully beatdown right there. And a bully beatdown being because Dolidze was so much bigger, right? So much bigger. Yeah, I think DC said that he looked like Craven the Hunter as he came in with the fur school around his shoulders. And so Dolidze is this huge motherfucker, right? This kind of looking kind of like a Viking warrior, Cossack or something like that, But Anthony Hernandez was not breathing hard any point during that fight. Wasn't breathing hard. He was just taking it to Dolidze, putting that pressure on him and just taking his soul. Just taking his soul. This was so impressive. And Hernandez did take shots. Didn't care. And he did a good job. He was taking shots, but he did do a good job of avoiding shit as well. Right? Keeping safe on the ground. Just implementing his will. And then when he, decided to finish things, he just put that choke on so quick. And you could see, right? Dolidze didn't really do a lot to try and defend, right? It was a quick tap. And look, it's not saying, people give up or anything like that, but Dolidze had just been beat up for 20 minutes, essentially. Beat up for 20 minutes. He was so tired. So it was just, when you're that tired, it's hard to breathe without someone's arm wrapped around your neck. You know what I mean? So I just imagine just what was going through Dolidze's head. He's struggling to breathe and then someone's choking you. Of course you're going to tap. And that's all he could do. He had to tap, but, there was no hooks in. There was nothing. That was just big brother shit. Big brother shit. That was school yard. That was that video, you know what I mean, of that dude flexing on someone, like being like, oh yeah, this is my house, motherfucker, taking the shirt off, flexing, and then getting beat up by the smaller guy. That's what we just saw, right? We just saw the embodiment of an internet meme happen in real time. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez showed the world, do not fuck with him, and he is ready, right? Like, this victory and the way he won is probably the most opportune time for it to happen, because next week the belt is on the line, right? So we have got both, you know, whoever wins and Hernandez kind of on the same schedule. So it does kind of work out, right, for Hernandez to technically get the winner. You know what I mean? There's so many of the other top contenders have had a shot. So it kind of makes sense to go, all right, let's give it to Hernandez for a shot. Now, if Khamzat wins, do you give DDP the automatic reshot? Yeah, but like rematch. Gosh, that's it. Rematch. Do you give him the automatic rematch? I mean, you could do, but he has fought a lot and done his thing and all of that. I guess it kind of depends how quick that, any outcome is, the damage on the other, all of that kind of jazz. But I do like, the winner against Anthony Hernandez. I think he has done enough to earn that fight, Obviously, I think, if we look at who else is available, you might go, okay, that fight actually isn't a bad one. But yeah, I would say I would not be mad at Anthony Hernandez fighting for the belt next. What do you think, people? Would you put Hernandez for the belt? I mean, I would. I wouldn't mind seeing it, right? But yeah, I guess we'll see how next week turns out. But this, Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, stand up, son. You just showed the world you're the motherfucker. Congratulations.